Hi again, YouTubers. So hopefully this is going to be a quick video just on a method that I saw Goss makeup artist do about cleaning your brushes. He did this and I was like, I've always kind of, what I've done is I've spot cleaned my brushes with, this has MAC brush cleaner in it, but it's a spray bottle, and I've always sprayed it onto a paper towel, wiped the brushes across it and put them away, and then like, should have once every week, but I usually did it once every couple weeks. Go in and deep clean them with baby shampoo and all of that. And then I saw his video about this and I thought this was pretty cool, and I figured, what's it hurt to give it a try? And he talks about 99% rubbing alcohol, and this is the one I purchased. Now, people ask me where to find 99% because they had gone to Walgreens and to CVS and places like that and only found 70 or 91%. And I found this at Safeway. It's a grocery store here, so try your grocery stores as opposed to your drugstores. He does mention to use 99% rubbing alcohol. However, many people have mentioned on my videos that like the standard for hospitals and like nursing and things like that is 70%, and it actually kills more bacteria because it dries faster. I don't know if any of you know any of this. I'd love to hear about it. I'm almost done this bottle. The bottles are normally about $1, $2 for this size. I picked up 2 of them. I'm almost done this one. I took your typical just like summertime drinking cup, the red like Solo cups, and I cut one off. What I tend to do is I take a little bit of the product. I'll show you as much as I can. I pour it in. I only put about 1/4 of an inch in. And I also, when I'm getting ready to do this, I always have just an old towel. This is just like an old beat up towel, and you can see the makeup that I've brushed off on it so far. And I keep it next to it. I always start with the brushes that had the least amount of product on them. So it would be shadow brushes and things like that. So you can see that this brush has like a peach colored shadow to it. So you just take it in and you swirl it around, okay? And you're not rough with this. And you can, I watch it until it kind of, the water will get dirty too, is another key with this when you use your bigger brushes. So that's why I start with the smaller ones. So you rub it around until you don't see color coming off of it anymore. You keep it damp and then you just lightly brush it off onto the towel. And I'm not being rough or anything like that, but look how white and clean that is now. So, and it dries very quickly. Now, I don't know what 70% or 91% are gonna do, but this dries very, very quickly. So just within a couple moments, something that small is dry. The bigger ones take a little bit longer, but it is amazing for these white bristled brushes, like absolutely amazing. Again, just take another brush and I just take it in, I swirl it around. One of the key things to keep in mind is try not to go too far into your ferrule, because what happens with that when you're doing that, because you're doing this on a more regular basis, is if the water goes in through here, it's eventually going to loosen the glue on these. So that is one thing to be very careful about. All right, I'm gonna go on to this brush. You can tell it's pink, has the coloring to it. Again, do the same thing. Now this brush soaks up a lot more product than your small ones do. This is actually almost taking everything I have out of the little container. And you let it drip off for a second or so. Do the same thing. Now this one's going to take a little bit longer to dry, of course, because it is larger, but you just kind of, again, I'm not being real rough. I'm just holding it loosely and just kind of, it's just kind of tapping off all that excess, and it's getting rid of any extra dirt. Look how clean that is. Look how white that is. It's amazing. So I love that. Now, as you might be able to see, let's see without spilling it, the water's kind of dirty, or the alcohol's kind of dirty. When I get to the point on my big brushes, I usually just go and dump it out and get it for the next one, especially something like a foundation brush. Like that just gets so much product. So I dump it out and then I start over. But this I've used for good 2-3 weeks every day, probably doing 5 or 6 brushes, and it's worked great. One of the key things, leave your brushes laying sideways so that if you put them upright, the alcohol is going to also seep down and release the glue. So keep them sitting sideways, and hopefully that also helps, not hopefully, sorry, that also helps to dry them evenly. If you lay it over the edge of something, kind of like this, the air is going to get through here much quicker as well, so that also helps. Just some little tips. So I have 2 more brushes to go, but I'm going to finish those off camera. So I hope this review was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you know any more information about 99% versus 91 versus 70. Just interesting to find out some information on it. And this is a quick and easy way to clean your brushes. And like I said,